leader that stands from in the front and here with us speak for them, since nobody is speaking for them. So please be patient and listen as they address you. From there, we'll take it on. Thank you so much.
Good morning, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Though we are members of Labour Party, but this briefing is done on behalf of the Nigerian youth who see me as their leader and voice in times like this, when their rights are trampled and injustice meted. We have chosen not to be silenced or forced to keep silent in the face of abuse of privilege by some privileged individuals who are hiding under the color of hallowed chambers of the National Assembly. The recent development in the revered Red Chamber of the 10th National Assembly over the past week has prompted us to call for this media briefing. It is no longer news that one non-compliant Labour Party senator, Naira, representing Edo South Senatorial District, was used as a willing tool to perpetuate what has been widely described as injustice and the humiliation of a youthful voice in the Senate, in the person of Mrs. Natasha without proper investigation. We, the Nigerian youths, have in clear terms condemned such rascality perpetrated by the Ethics and Privilege Committee led by Naira in clear violation of an order of the court. It is clear to the Nigerian youths that an investigative panel, which was set for 11th March, was mysteriously and mischievously rescheduled to hold on 5th March 2025. Our question remains, what is the haste for? It is on record that this 10th Senate is not known to have shown much urgency or speed in most of their public hearings that has direct bearing with public interest, such as the call for the amendment of the Electoral Act that will lead to electoral reform, or security sector or economic reform, amongst others. But they were in a haste to suspend an opposition voice using a readily available, unseasoned opposition senator who has never added any value to the Labour Party since he was elected, and his activities in National Assembly has not in any way reflected the ideologies and philosophies of Labour Party. Given such a hasty decision to suspend Natasha, Senator Naira and his subsequent posturing afterward has no doubt left everyone in shock about the possible dislike for womanfolk, a character which may be construed as being a misogynist. To the best of our knowledge, the Labour Party is a party for social democrats with tremendous respect for the female gender and the youth alike. It is also believes so much in the principles of fair hearing, rule of law, and gender parity. We therefore make the following demands. 1, the 10th Senate should immediately resign the suspension of Senator Natasha and constitute a morally and mentally balanced committee to do proper investigative hearing of the matter to salvage the already tainted image of the 10th Senate. We demand that Senator Naira be recused from the reconstituted committee, and I think we also recommend to the Labour Party to consider suspending him. 2, the Nigerian youths are by this statement calling on the people of Edo South to immediately commence a recall process for Senator Naira for his poor representation and conduct at the Senate. On the matter concerning the distinguished Senator Natasha, it has been observed that Senator Imasuen has not satisfactorily applied internationally accepted principles of fair hearing, making a recommendation which led to the controversial suspension of distinguished Senator Natasha. 3, we urge President Bola Tinubu to save the face of Nigeria in the Committee of Nations by speaking up against the humiliation suffered by the female gender in the Nigerian politics, of which his wife, as a serving senator in the Ninth Assembly, also faced. Mr. President must ensure that his government work to preserve the democratic principles of fairness and rule of law. 4, the Nigerian youth are also demanding that the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, must present himself for investigation by an unbiased arm of government. He cannot continue to use his privileged position to frustrate the call for justice by the victim or any other victim. Senator Natasha, in this case, a situation where one man will be a judge in his own matter, like Senator Akpabio did, must be denounced and condemned. Under no circumstance should Akpabio be the one sitting that day to suspend Senator Natasha. In conclusion, we shall continue to speak despite the intimidations, despite the threatening political environment in Nigeria, orchestrated by the current ruling oligarchy. The rules of the Senate is not stronger than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which made it clear that there must be principle of fair hearing, and it must be applied in every matter concerning citizens of Nigeria, be it a common citizen, be it a senator, be it a president, be it a governor. There must be an application of that principle of fair hearing. If you can recall, the committee was set out to meet on 11th of March. What is the haste, as I stated in this document? What is the haste of fast-tracking it backwards to become on the 5th of March? And you tell me that the Senate President does not have hand in who and in what the Ethics and Privilege Committee is doing. I want to assure you that it is the Senate President that is the chairman of Senate and the chairman of National Assembly. And he's the one that appoints and fires whoever becomes a committee chairman, as he did in the case of Natasha Akpoti, who he also fired. So it is him that gave the Ethics and Privilege Committee order to do what they did. So you can't exonerate the Senate leadership from what transpired on that day. The clear evidence is that they said it's 11th and they brought it back to 5th. And I said here, Nigerians have been asking for electoral reform. Nigerians have been asking for police reform, army reform, economic reform. There is no current bill that is undergoing speedy public hearing in the National Assembly today to address these issues. What is the haste in suspending a senator that Nigerians voted? I know that you are a Nigerian. I have been a witness to many protests that Nigerian youths have undertaken. In recent past, uncountable number of Nigerian youths were tear gassed, were murdered, were injured. In a sane climb, you don't need to walk on the street. In fact, walking on the street is the last resort to express your right as a citizen. What we are doing is what is accepted internationally, to speak out. And we have spoken out. I cannot risk the life of these youth that are following me to be tear gassed. We don't have the power. We don't have the financial muscle. We don't have the energy to face the Nigerian police, which are already becoming tools in the hands of these politicians. Thank you. Well, I'm sure that my name is not a new name to you in issues of national politics and national polity. And if you can do a little background check, I am not one of those that can be used to do a hatchet job. The press conference you are witnessing this morning is an expression, sincere expression of what is happening both in the party and in the National Assembly. We elected Naira from the platform of the Labour Party, but totally he has deviated from the principles, from the philosophies that guides the Labour Party. His representation in the Senate does not have any bearing. I can say it over and over again, that the representation of Senator Naira in Maswell and some of them have no bearing on the party's manifesto, on the party's constitution in terms of inclusivity, in terms of fair hearing, in terms of rule of law, in terms of gender parity, and in terms of delivering good governance as inscribed in the Labour Party manifesto. So that is Labour Party for you, and that is what makes Labour Party unique. That you can be a member of this house. The moment you deviate from the track, you will be cautioned and you will be reprimanded heavily. Labour Party is not like APC and PDP, where we have some governors and some ministers and some Senate presidents saying that when you come to the party, your sins will be forgiven. In Labour Party, your sins will not be forgiven. Like I've observed that every new assembly, it seems that every new assembly will always amend the Senate rules. And I ask, if the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is amended every month and every week and every year, how suitable would that Constitution be? This Senate rules is amended 2023 when Ababio became Senate President. And these rules, like I said, I will repeat again, this rule is not superseding the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If severally in Nigeria we have witnessed where Senate rules enhanced a decision that were made, and after that decision, it was challenged in the court. And when it was challenged in the court, what happened? The decision of the Senate was overturned severally, it's not once, it's not twice, showing you and indicating to you that the Senate rules is no more superior than the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So therefore, if Naira was actually a party man, there is nothing that goes on the floor of the National Assembly that the ruling government does not have hand in. They have their caucus, they discuss it, they share ideas, and they come and play the politics on the floor. That is how governance is being run, my brother, anywhere in the world. So therefore, it's required of oppositions to share ideas of what is happening on the floor of the Senate with the party before they execute. They cannot just go to the Senate and sit on their own without consulting the party. That is why the party gave them the platform. So it's expected that when such a matter, and of course that is why you give 2 weeks, 3 weeks before such hearing, so that you consult your party. My party, look at an assignment that is being given to me. What is your idea and notion about this matter that is going on? And your party caucus can sit and say, please, don't go ahead with this. And once they say it, you are bound to obey. And again, my advice to young Nigerian youth, Nigerian young girls and ladies are doing excellently well. They are doing excellently well. What they are facing is intimidation. What they are facing, whether we hide it, whether we believe it or not, what many young girls across the country is facing is harassment, intimidation.
Yes.
True of us?
True.
True of us?
True.
What many young Nigerian girls are facing in the polity is intimidation, sexual harassment. Let's mention the name. It's happening in Israel. And we say no to sexual harassment. We say no to
Sexual harassment.
Thank you very much.
Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the always fight for our rights.
Solidarity forever.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. We shall all